Well, good morning everybody and welcome to the view from my new apartment. This is a lake that's right next to my apartment, and that bridge you can see over there in the distance, that is the new high-speed railway that is currently being constructed. Anyway, let's get down to it. Welcome to another China How It Is. Today I'm going to be talking about why motorcycles are banned in all the new and big cities in China. Alright. Well, in order for me to explain this, I'm going to need a prop. Excuse these. These are to stop children falling off the balcony, I guess, and to stop burglars climbing in. I'll probably get rid of them. I don't like them. Okay. What is this? This is a hammer. Okay. It's not in the greatest condition. Looks rusty and whatever. Why is it rusty? Well, I'll tell you why. I very seldom use it. I use it to knock nails into walls or whatever, you know. Occasionally I need to use it when working on my motorbikes. I use it. When I'm finished, I throw it back in the toolbox. And when I need it again, I will go and fetch it. Right, simple as that. It's a tool. So, I'm not going to sit there polishing it and looking after it because it's a cheap, tool. Anyway, the reason I'm showing you a hammer is it has a lot to do with why motorcycles are banned in China, and I'll get to that in a minute. First,
There he is. More depressing, horrible, crappy sort of areas. I have no idea what this place is, but it sucks. Now you see, the reason why they ban motorcycles in the big cities is, well, if you look at these kind of poor rundown areas, you see bikes everywhere, right? The image of bikes in China is a poor image. So basically bikes equals poor or rural. And in the big cities they're trying to, how can I say, project this image. There it is. This very clean, new, modern image, which is not what bikes give you. So that's why they ban them. Anyway.
First, I'd like to clear something up. Now, I guess I give this impression when you watch my videos. I guess that a lot of people get this impression that they can just come to China, buy a cheap motorcycle and ride around. Because yes, you see me riding around on a motorcycle in my videos. But one thing that you have to understand is it's not actually the case. Alright. Where I live, the city I live, motorcycles are banned. Why do I ride motorcycles? I'll tell you why I ride them. Is because I've got a huge passion for motorcycles. Okay, and that is why I actually moved here to this area, Buji, which is outside of the gates, outside of the main city. And here there is a grey area. When I say grey area, it means it's still illegal to ride motorcycles in this area. It's still not allowed by law. But the police turn a blind eye. There are lots of motorcycles riding around here because it's still outside of the main glitzy, glamoury sort of side of the city, and they don't really care. That's how I can get away with it. That's why I ride out here. That's why I moved out here. That's why I no longer live in the downtown areas of Shenzhen. Alright, so if you thought you could just come to Shenzhen, for instance, buy a motorcycle and ride around, you're wrong. You can't. Okay. It's only because I've been living here long enough to understand how the system works here, how the place works here, that I'm actually able to ride motorcycles. Alright.
Alright, so my mistake. We've stumbled into a shitty town. Took a wrong turn. So now we can see the rural shitty towns of China. And now you will understand why bikes are banned in the main cities. Look around you. See this depressing sort of shitty rundown place, and you see all the bikes? Well, you see, people associate bikes with poor areas like this, and so yeah, when they try to project this nice clean image of a city, and you have all these shitty bikes, it just doesn't work, so they get rid of the bikes to get rid of this image. Come on.
Right, now let's get down to it. All of the up-and-coming new cities are banning motorcycles, okay? All the big cities are banning them or have banned them already. You know, big cities like Shenzhen and Guangzhou in down here in Guangdong have banned them. Zhuhai banned them, okay? All the big, you know, cities that people know the names of. The cities that foreigners and, you know, tourists are bound to go and visit. They have usually banned motorcycles. Big cities like Beijing, yes, they've banned them, but because of a legacy of having motorcycles for years and years, it's taking them a long time to get rid of all of them. Shanghai, they have banned motorcycles there. They've got some funny little strange law about paying exorbitant amounts of fees for a motorcycle license plate, something like 60,000 RMB. And that is just so that the very rich people can ponce around on a Ducati or something. Anyway, that's the only city I know of in China where they are actually encouraging like a wealth gap thing, and I'll explain that later. Most other cities I've visited in China, if they're rural, if they're like a crappy little place that no one ever visits and, you know, it's just a bunch of farmers and factory workers and whatever living there, motorcycles are still legal in those areas, okay? And it's all down to image, okay? Now, the Chinese government does have an official line on motorcycles, why they're banning them, okay? Number one, they say they cause a lot of traffic accidents. Sure they do. But so do cars and bicycles and pedestrians and everything else. Okay, I don't buy it. I've seen lots of accidents in China, usually cars and bicycles and pedestrians, and occasionally motorcycle accidents too. But that's not really a good enough reason if you ask me to ban them, because every moving vehicle in China causes accidents. Number two, snatch and grab robberies. You know, those, you get these gangs that operate in some of these crappier cities that ride around on a motorcycle, someone sitting on the back, and he will grab a handbag of a passing pedestrian and they'll ride off. Yes, that is a legitimate reason to crack down on motorcycles, but I'd say more a legitimate reason to crack down on illegal, unregistered motorcycles and putting police in the right area to stop that from happening. So those aren't really good enough reasons. The real reason is image. China at the moment is undergoing this huge transformation, or has been for, you know, 20, 30 years. Everything's getting better, newer, cleaner, nicer. Okay, that includes the cities. So they want this lovely new glitzy image. And it's not just motorcycles. In some cities, for instance, you can't drive a car downtown in the downtown glitzy areas if it's more than 5 years old. You're not allowed to drive it there, okay? It's all about image. So, what's happening here is you've got a situation where motorcycles basically equal bad image. Now, why is that? Why do motorcycles have a bad image? Once again, I'm going to refer to my prop here, my hammer. You and me, well, most of my subscribers anyway, if we ride a motorcycle, it is for leisure purposes. You know, motorcycles, they represent freedom, they represent the open road, they represent, I don't know, fun. Not in China. Motorcycles have never represented that. When people buy motorcycles in China, it's because they want to buy a tool. Something that's cheap, because they are cheap. If you want to buy, you can buy a brand new crap motorcycle for about 2,000 RMB plus minus, okay? Which is nothing if you think about it. It's for a 125, those normal, you know, Honda CG knockoffs, or 125 knockoffs. About 2,000, maybe 2,500, you have one. Okay, so they're cheap. They're practical. You can load up your whole family on them. I've seen people with like 6, 7, 8 people on one of those 125 motorcycles, okay? They load up pigs, they load up whatever, you know, in the farmlands, they load up all their goods. It's basically a tool. So they use it, and then they stop using it, then they use it. They never ever clean them, and they don't maintain them, so they all look like crap. They all look like rusted old hammers. In fact, my rusty hammer looks a shitload better than most of the motorcycles that you see riding around. So, you've got these horrible, crusty-looking motorcycles everywhere, which they only ever repair if they catastrophically break, and they will not, you know, maintain them. So yes, they look dirty, they look ugly, they look horrible, and they bring down the image of the whole area. Okay, so yes, now I've explained to you why they've gotten rid of the motorbikes. But why are they currently clamping down on e-bikes? Well, okay. Very easy to explain. Motorcycles get banned, so e-bikes move in. Okay, because it's a loophole. It's not a motorcycle, it's an electric bicycle. The local manufacturers here then obviously needed to be practical to carry all the goods and to go reasonable speeds and distances, so they have developed e-bikes that can actually match a 50cc motorcycle. Right. And, well, this is what happens when you leave the e-bikes unchecked. Yeah, you see the kind of chaos that goes on with these e-bikes as well. And, you know, I'm in a place called Xiajin in Bao'an. This is still technically part of Shenzhen, but not really. It's like so far out of the actual main city. It may as well be the countryside. But yeah, these electric bikes, when they go unchecked like here, it's just hazardous. You can see there's like 3, they sometimes fit up to 5 people on one. There are no traffic rules really being obeyed. The only reason they're stopping there is not because of the red light, but for fear of being run over. It's just, yeah. So they're a menace. Okay, that's the thing, they are a menace. Now you see, I want to turn. How am I supposed to turn with this fucking army of e-bikes that won't let me turn? Thank you. Now coming the wrong way down the road. Basically, you know.
Continue straight.
Yeah. Look at this bunch. Okay, this is where like factory workers live. Obviously, you can see the very horrible sort of dead end. I don't know. It's like, it just gives me the creeps. Anyway, this is where the factory workers live, and yeah, this is the factory workers on their way to work on their e-bikes. So you see, like motorbikes and e-bikes and scooters are all sort of classed together with the lower class. And this sort of image that you're seeing now, like I showed you in the earlier videos of the motorbikes in that other little town, this is what China is trying to get rid of. You know, they don't want people to see this. They don't want this image. They want clean, shiny cities with black, shiny SUVs, and that's basically what they want. They don't want this chaos and this nonsense, as you can see around us at the moment. Which is understandable, I suppose. So that is why motorcycles and more recently e-bikes are banned in the bigger cities. It's got nothing to do with safety, that's what they say it is. It's got nothing to do with snatch and grab robberies, which is another big reason they give. It's to get rid of this image, this what you're seeing now, this... Hey guys, let me through. You know? And what are you doing? This is my... You douche. You know, the thing is, give them cars and they're not going to drive any better.